And we are live with another episode of the Daredevil Born Again Aftershow. Today we're talking about episodes 5 and 6, because literally they dropped 2 episodes today, and we are here live on our Aftershow talking about the 2 episodes that literally just dropped. I'm your host, Dimithri Perera, and then also...
Me, Ms. Marauder, aka Sara.
aka the co-host.
AKA the co-host.
Co-hostess with the mostess.
Like that.
Is that, I mean, I know hostess with a mostess. Yeah. I've heard that.
Yeah.
Co-hostess.
Co-hostess with the mostess. I like it.
We got 2 episodes today, which I thought was really interesting. I was trying to figure out why.
I was also trying to figure out why. It's not like they were cliffhangers. The only thing I can think is like the first episode I wrote it down. I was thinking about it. I was like, maybe the first episode 5 doesn't really like move the plot along, like the main plot. So they were like, oh, we can't go 2 weeks without checking in with Fisk or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like they don't think that people are gonna be willing to wait another week for him to put on the suit. So they're like, well, we got to do it today. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, because they didn't really go together, and they were so different.
Yeah. And I mean, I have my how do I say, como se dice,
complaints?
I don't know. My heart is almost hurting in a way, like as a fan, because the first episode is all in the bank, and it's like kind of a self-contained episode.
Yeah.
And you know, cool beans. And at the same, like, it's very kind of lighthearted. And then the second episode is back to the main plot, and it's back to like brooding, like Daredevil, which everybody loves. But I'm gonna be honest, I kind of like not brooding Matt. I kind of like the Matt from episode 5 today.
I feel like they need to decide, because I feel like when he's brooding, he's not brooding enough.
Yeah.
And then when he's lighthearted, I do like him a little bit better. But they very much felt like 2 episodes from 2 different shows.
Yeah.
It was like wild, because I loved the first episode. I liked the tone.
Episode 5?
Episode 5.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked that it was self-contained. I liked Kamala Khan's dad as a cameo. That was amazing.
If I had to bet,
perfect.
I had to bet before this series started what cameos would appear, I would never have guessed Yusuf Khan.
Yusuf Khan, and then the sword guy from Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
What are we? Okay. I'm like, but I think that's the interesting part is, I think it was maybe a mistake putting these 2 episodes next to each other, because unexpected cameo of Yusuf Khan being absolutely delightful, fitting perfectly into it, and then some guy on the BB report being like, look at this guy with the sword, and then we see, what's his name?
Swordsman?
Yeah, Swordsman. I think his name's Jack. We see him, and I'm like, this is not working for me. So it's like, both episodes tried to do an unexpected cameo, and one of them was successful, and the other one was like, oh, it's the Hawkeye guy. Okay.
Yeah. I also, I mean, I have a problem with Jack Duquesne in a way. I'm fine with him in comics. Even in comics, I'm not really a big fan of him. I just don't see in this grounded Daredevil world, what is a guy with a fencing sword? Like, he's not using it to literally stab people as a vigilante. It's kind of like when Wolverine can't use his claws. It's like, if Wolverine's not stabbing people, is he slashing? Is he, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't see a vigilante with a fencing sword.
Yeah, and it looked stupid.
Yeah. He was just like, haha! Like, okay, 3 Musketeer style.
Yeah. And then, correct me, what's his name?
Who?
The sword guy? This is just an annoying thing.
Jack Duquesne.
Didn't Elektra in season 2 of Daredevil fight a guy in an airport, and that he said that his name was Jack Duquesne?
I don't
So
think
aren't
so.
they? Okay,
Elektra fought someone in season 2 named Jack Duquesne.
I thought so. In an airport.
Elektra season
And
2.
everyone was like, "Oh, I thought that was oh, they just picked a character name randomly." She fights and kills a guy in an
Jack
airport.
Duchamp.
Oh,
Jacques Duchamp.
oh, maybe it was just weirdly similar. Maybe it was like a riff on the name.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Jacques Duchamp versus Jack Duquesne. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, then never mind. I don't
had to
have
look that up.
I don't have to make
forgot.
that pick.
I forgot.
I just rewatched season. I'm on season 3 of my rewatch, so I just saw Elektra do that last week.
I as much as I miss the Netflix show. And by the way, sorry, I should preface this after show. If you're watching us live, you're watching us on youtube.com/The Keeg Show. That's where we're drawing the chat from. Or maybe you're watching us from twitch.tv/The Keeg Show. Or maybe you're listening to the podcast wherever you get your podcast from. But no matter where you are watching and or listening to us, let us know you're out there. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, write a review, do that thing. Let us know your thoughts. Anyway, as much as I like Netflix seasons 1, 2, and 3, kind of how like the early phases of Marvel were semi-grounded.
Yeah.
And then they slowly became more comic booky in the way that they are fantastical. I wouldn't have minded if this show, because of what I saw on episode 5, was more of that episode 5 flavor of Daredevil, which reminds me of like Mark Waid's Daredevil, which is Daredevil. He's a hero. He's in San Francisco. He's doing his thing. He's macking on the ladies. He's doing some flips. He's smiling for the cameras. Like,
yeah, he's doing, and yeah, that's very much episode 5, right? He's doing that little cheeky thing where he swaps the diamond with the candy and then leaves the diamond in the candy bucket, like.
And he eats the candy.
Yeah, I think it's tough. It's like, I think that the brooding Matt is not brooding enough, so that when they switch from him kind of being confident, in that episode 5, like that's kind of where Matt lives, right? In this little, like, I'm walking into the dangerous situation, I'm assessing it, I'm cracking a safe, like I'm doing all these things. And then they open up episode 6 with like he's praying, and it's like we're flashing back to Foggy, and I'm like, one of my biggest pet peeves is when they flash back to something that happened like 1 or 2 episodes ago, like I don't remember it, which they did in episode 6, and I was like, that's annoying. But yeah, I
makes
really
sense.
liked.
It makes sense in this show because there have been a couple weeks. But
Yeah.
when they drop the whole season and people are binging, you don't need it.
Yeah, and it's a flashback.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. Okay, so like if I'm, and obviously we'll go into details about these episodes, but for the most part, he wasn't bloodlusty in episode 5 until the end. Like the first time he throws hands, he's fighting the guy on the stairwell, right? And for that, I feel like there was some like roughness to it and like choking involved. But I don't remember him. Did he break any bones? I don't remember, but
I think so.
Oh.
No, he just kind of choked the guy out. But it was like very strategic. Whereas when he got into the alley, it was like, I'm gonna mess this guy up.
That guy got messed up bad.
Yeah.
And that's where like the bloodlust I thought came from. Like,
yeah,
I was like, where did that come from? Is it by virtue of putting on the mask? Was that kind of the idea? He put on the red mask.
They're kind of trying to, I think, to walk us to that with what Heather was saying. That idea of putting a mask on kind of lets you be less than human. Yeah. I did write in my notes during that fight, Is Matt out of practice? Wait, no.
I mean,
Like, yeah,
I
he
think
was
he
kind
is.
of getting beat up a little bit, and then he broke that guy's leg and like smashed his face, and I was like, oh, never mind, he's got this.
I mean, I think he's a little bit out of it, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't been Daredevil in. Uh, but I much prefer that fight. This is like, I think, a very controversial take. I prefer that fight to the Muse fight. Like,
Ooh.
that fight was more interesting to me.
Yeah.
Um, I know, I know that Daredevil swings around a lot. Like, I know that in my heart, and yet it still looks stupid when he's like doing the Spider-Man swing with the grappling hook thing, and I'm like,
Mm.
okay, and like the slow motion jumps, and I'm like, I know that this is a Daredevil thing, and but I don't, I don't like it. But that's, I mean, for so much of Daredevil's run on Netflix, right? He was in like the black outfit with the, he didn't really have a suit other than season 2.
Yeah.
So I feel like seeing him in those situations, in Defenders with the scarf, or in here with the taking the mask off the other guy, grabbing that and kind of like in a pinch, right, needing to do that. I'm not someone who's like, you got to put the suit on. You're not Daredevil without the suit.
Yeah.
And I think the suit kind of like, I don't know. I
I
wasn't like jonesing for it. Like, I didn't need the suit. I wasn't waiting, because for me in episode 5, he's being Daredevil, right? Like, it's not that he waited until the Muse fight to be like, okay, now I'm doing it. Even though
right.
that's kind of the way they presented it. Like, if he's putting a mask on and following that guy and like not apprehending him to the police, instead breaking his legs, like, that's, you're being Daredevil. Like,
Not just
you're,
breaking leg. He shoved his head into the glass bottle,
yeah,
then kicked him back, then like
crazy.
broke his leg. To
Yeah.
do what though?
Drag him to the police and say, I found him like this?
Maybe, I guess, right? Because after that scene is he goes back to
To
Yusuf,
the
right?
bank. Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, he was just taking it out on that guy who also it looked like his femur broke. Like, is that his upper leg broke? Like that is
Yeah, it looks like he got him. Yeah, that was crazy.
that's like the most dangerous bone to break.
You put
Like
it on the list of people that he like definitely maybe killed.
oh, and
Yeah.
I just almost get whiplash with that scene moving into episode 6 is like
Mhm.
you don't see bloodlust from Matt throughout that whole episode, and you don't even see like a rising anger of sorts.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Maybe it's the mask thing. Maybe that's what it is, but it just seemed weird to me. And since we've been talking about it for the last however many episodes, I'm trying to look for the seams in these episodes. I'm trying to figure out what was filmed after what episode. Were they filmed in order? Did they go back?
Mhm.
What scenes were added in versus not, right?
It's interesting because they said originally that it was like going to be a case of the week type thing, which makes me think that episode 5 is more of the original, what it was originally supposed to be, because Matt is a little bit happier. It's all contained in one episode. I'm like, is that what it was originally supposed to be? In which case, like, I'm gonna be grumpy if that's, because I'm liking that stuff better.
Yeah.
But
Shout out to RL in our YouTube chat. We're here talking about these episodes of Daredevil Born Again. RL says, new here, this is peak MCU to me. And like I'm not complaining about it. It just seems like whiplash between these two episodes on like tone.
Mhm.
And I think that the question is, and this comes down to like when people talk about the MCU, is what do we want out of the MCU? Some people want us just to reduce it down to the first 5 Avengers, 6 Avengers, 5 Avengers, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor,
Black Widow,
Black
Hulk,
Widow,
Hawkeye,
Hawkeye, and the Hulk.
Hulk. Yeah.
Okay, so 6. Some people just want the original 6 Avengers, and that's it. And they were like, can we just go back to when I was X years old, and just live in phase 1 or phase 2 or even phase 3 leading up to Endgame? I get it. But like, I don't know.
I think it's one of those things where, first of all, if it sucked, then I would be like, it sucked.
Yeah.
Right. And then there wouldn't be anything to talk about. I think what's so frustrating for me is like, I can see it, right? Like, it's like just out of reach. Like, I can see the version of this show that I love. And it's like just at my fingertips, right? And so that's, I think, interesting thing. And that's where the whiplash comes in, is I really liked episode 5, but I think it's going to be based on what you like.
Yeah.
Right, like the style of show that you like. And I think that peak MCU, like, I first and foremost, like, I'm delighted that people like it more than I do. Like, I'm not gonna be like, it's trash,
Yeah.
the Netflix show is so much better, because the Netflix show is not always perfect, right? And I think maybe it's a failure that I'm comparing it so much to the Netflix show. The Netflix show isn't the MCU, right? So like,
I mean,
if I
kind of
compare it
is
to,
and kind of not. You're
if I'm
right.
comparing it to Hawkeye instead of comparing it to Netflix's Daredevil, I have a more positive.
Well, some people don't think that peak MCU or like MCU proper is anything after Endgame, right?
Mhm.
Or after No Way Home, or sorry, yeah, No Way Home. Like,
Yeah.
some people are like, oh, it ends at No Way Home, being an epilogue to everything, but or Far From Home, I don't know. Anyway, everybody has their own thing. Nobody is like intellectually consistent with it, but Marvel doesn't really have a TV show. MCU proper doesn't have a TV show before WandaVision.
Yeah.
So other people think of the ABC shows as the MCU, right? Agent Carter and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that. I cut out. Wait, I cut out. Okay.
It looked like the thought just like flew out of your brain.
How much did I say?
You were talking about whether Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was like a part of the MCU.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, like, who knows whether the ABC shows are also shows that were supposed to be MCU, right? So like, as of right now, the only show that isn't part of MCU canon is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Is technically the only one that has not been, you know, figured out yet, right? Because Agent Carter is part of the MCU because they showed Jarvis.
Oh.
And the actor who played Jarvis, you know, because he's not Paul Bettany, he's what's his name, you know. And so anyway, the point being is that like, I think that I'm not complaining about the MCU because I think that you can see it from certain people. Every other project they think is like, the MCU is back. Oh, we lost the MCU. The MCU is back. Oh, we lost the MCU. And it's like, it alternates, which means the MCU is giving what you want 50% of the time. Mm-hmm. And then it's giving new things and kind of like, you know, like trying out like and experimenting with other things in the middle of things, right?
Yeah, and I think the first Avengers movies, like the first Avenger and then everything, you know, it's all very like, it's like a fastball, right? Fastball down the middle.
Yeah.
Like, we can't go wrong with the first Avengers movie. Like, everybody loves that, right? Like, it's very.
I thought it was overrated.
Most people. Well, yeah.
Well, do you know why? Do you know why I thought it was overrated?
Why?
It's not because the movie was bad or anything. I liked the movie, but right after it, X-Men: Days of Future Past comes out, and that's like one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. And
it didn't get the respect it deserved.
Not compared to Avengers. And I thought X-Men was like returning to form the way like the movies should have been in the first place, and it wasn't. That was the peak, and it dropped off pretty considerably after that. But the point being is that like, I'll always compare the two, and I'm like, well, X-Men: Days of Future Past, you know?
Yeah.
Avengers
I
didn't
think
really pick up to me until like I loved Civil War.
mm,
Like that was like when I was like, yeah.
I think the thing I'm gonna make a bad metaphor. It's gonna be a bad metaphor, but I
Yeah.
feel like Avengers, like those first
Metaphor Murdoch.
that phase one stuff was very fastball down the middle, and then it's like we can't keep like they're so straightforward, right? Even like Captain America First Avengers, I love that one. That's my favorite phase one, if that's even in phase one. Like I love that. I know
Yeah.
people don't like it as much, but I'm like I love it. It's straightforward story. Love it.
The
Then
first
you
Captain
get Winter
America?
Soldier. Yeah.
Yeah,
Winter
that's phase
Soldier
one.
is obviously incredible. Right. But then they get to a point where it's like we have to start doing different things. So then you get like WandaVision, which I loved. And then Falcon and Winter like I think what's happening is they're trying to diversify the kind of shows they're making.
Yeah.
And so it can be kind of unstable if you're like, I'm used to everything being like
one flavor.
Right. Yeah. Like I'm used to this peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which is not the most complex thing in the world, but it's delicious and it's my comfort food.
Yeah.
And now you're giving me sushi, which I know that people like, but I don't really like it. Right. Like that kind of thing. And I think the MCU, like as a whole, and like MCU fans have an issue with like, well, it's same thing with Star Wars, right? Of being like, I didn't like this thing. This one's not for me. Right. Yeah. Instead, like they are like, this is the downfall of everything. And then, you know, the MCU proper is like, oh no, it's the downfall of everything. Quick, let's make a different thing. I don't know how any of that relates to Daredevil.
Well,
but I think I want to know why everyone RL in the chat. Tell me why does everyone like it more than I do? I feel almost like angry at myself. Yeah. Like what why don't I like it as much as everybody?
I think it's because you can see the seams. I think that, like, especially because we do what we do, right? We are both content creators and we're doing this after show. And, like, you know, we're looking up everything, all the nitty gritty, right? Also, we're double checking our sources, which is, like, there's a lot of, let's just say, content creators or people who subscribe to content creators that just want, like, false rumors and, like, random hearsay. And it's not always real. So we're, like, you know, you're co-hosting this, and like I know that you got your shit together, and like that you aren't gonna be like, well, I heard that Charlie Cox, you know, was anti woke Marvel, and thus he asked them to change the show, and it's like, well, okay, whatever, you know. So I think that like basically we have magnifying glasses, and we're seeing the seams, and it's, you know, it's tough sometimes to like know not just how the like maybe not how the sausage is made, but know that like how just in general sausages are made, I guess.
Yeah. It's I think I always break it down to like maybe I just shouldn't, maybe it's good I'm an English teacher, because one of the things that we talk about a lot in my class is like tone and mood. And like that's the thing that I kind of get in on is like the tone and the mood of these two episodes is so different and for like no reason. Like there isn't a natural progression of the character. Like the characterization is bizarre from episode to episode.
Yeah.
But like I loved his characterization in episode 5. Like it was so interesting because I was leaving episode 5 on such a high note, but then I did write down in my notes, this is a really good episode, but how does it fit into the season? Right? Like it's, and then the answer was like, oh, it really doesn't.
It doesn't.
Right? It's kind of a one-off. The same thing with the Punisher scene. The Punisher scene was amazing. Didn't really make any sense in that episode.
Yeah.
Other than I love Punisher. You know, and I do think what I liked, there was a moment in episode 5 where he's like trying to talk the robbers out of robbing.
Yeah.
And I think maybe my problem is that I've watched the Daredevil I've watched it like 15 times, right? Yeah. So it reminded me very much of, there's a scene with Foggy and Claire in the hospital, and Foggy is like talking the two gang members out of fighting. and he's doing the lawyer thing.
Mm.
Except Foggy like does a way better job of it. So this like echo of Foggy of like trying to work within the system and using your lawyer stuff to get out of it. It's like he's trying to do that, but he's just not as good at it.
Right.
Which is like that for me. I don't know if that was intentional, but that was like that hit such a good moment of like he's still trying to convince himself that he can work within the system. He's trying to do what Foggy used to do, but
Yeah.
he hasn't. Yeah. So I think it fit so nicely. Yeah, giving his spot to the woman's that the husband was amazing. Kind of the banter that he had with the very Irish robbers. This is an incredibly Irish episode.
Right.
Weird that it came out a week after St. Pat. I don't know why this didn't air on St. Patrick's Day.
What was airing on Disney before this show came out? It wasn't a Star Wars show. Oh, was it Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man?
Crew? Oh, yeah. But they were dropping Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man 2 episodes at a time, usually, I think. That wasn't like a point.
What was the break in between the two?
I don't know.
Well, I'll bring it back to that because I actually have a point about that. But, and RL, I do see the question in the chat, which we will ask. Wait, no. Well, I'll just ask RL's question because I actually forget what I was gonna do before that. RL says, "Is this for Sara? Is this better than Captain America 4: Brave New World?"
I'm a fake MCU fan. I haven't seen Captain America 4 yet. Because I have, for context, I have a child.
Yeah.
And it is hard for me to get to the movies.
Yeah.
I have to really want to go see a movie.
Can she see that movie?
Oh, I think so. She's 8. I mean, she sat through Dune.
Oh, yeah.
She loves Dune.
Which is okay.
We saw Dune Part 2 in the theaters, and she was,
nobody's perfect. But I saw Dune also. It's Dune 1 especially is so boring.
Oh my god, I love Dune Part 1. I think Dune Part 1 is a masterpiece. That's crazy.
I'm sorry.
I was so disappointed.
So I'll answer. First things first, it's hard to compare a show and a movie.
And also the show's not over yet. So it might be that some of the, I'm so sorry, I just like interrupted you, but it could be that like some of these plot lines are going to have really satisfying endings that are going to make it all worth it.
Yeah.
Right. Like maybe the BB report is like a CIA psyop this whole time. And I'm going to be like, oh, okay, then there was a reason for it.
Right.
As opposed to like getting annoyed.
I do think that you can't hint at a dinner with Kamala Khan and not deliver. So it better pop up at the end of the season. Like, what? Don't tease that and then not deliver. That would be weird. Why would
like after credits of them at dinner, please?
Yeah. So what I will say is this better than Captain America 4? I would say that like Captain America 4 has a lot of jarring like tonal problems, but it was okay. Like Captain America 4 to me is normal phase 2 Marvel. Like to me, Captain America 4 was just like, people want the MCU back, and I thought like Captain America 4 was the MCU back, if that's what you want. Or maybe people say that they want the MCU back, but really they want it back but better, or back but different in a way they can foresee, right? Like sometimes people have problems with the way characters are treated, let's just say Star Wars universe, where they want old Star Wars back, but they want it to be different or better, and they want to be able to like foresee where their favorite characters have gotten, what they've gotten to in the last 30 years. They want to like just predict the ending of their favorite characters, right? I'm talking about Luke. But the point being is that like when it comes to Marvel,
when it doesn't match, you're really angry.
Which is like, none of us are writers for the MCU. Some of us can be writers, but not for the MCU. But so when it comes to the MCU and Matt and like figuring out like what we want, or Brave New World, like they did a lot of old MCU stuff, and they tried like a couple of new things. It was fine. It was just like a B to me. It was like a B- of a movie, and I won't rewatch Brave New World unless I have to like show it to someone or I'm gonna watch it with somebody. It's not my favorite, but it's middle of the road.
Yeah, in the idea of watching the trailer and being like, that's not worth my $17 was kind of where I felt like I'll watch it when it is on Disney Plus, right, in 3 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
But like Thunderbolts, I'm like, I'm very interested in Thunderbolts. I'll go see Thunderbolts in the theater because that's a movie that I'm like anticipating and I want to watch and I want to talk about. But with Captain America 4, it just wasn't something like from the trailer. I was like, I am interested in this film. I'm interested in the movie. I like Sam Wilson, but I feel like I can wait. It didn't seem, it sounds mean, but like it didn't seem like it was going to be one of those things that you have to watch.
I was
right?
also
Watch the episode or I have to, I have to watch it or I'm gonna go on TikTok the next day and we will have already been spoiling it with edits, which happened immediately last week with Frank Castle, and I was like, thank you. My TikTok FYP is going for it.
Yeah. RL actually just kind of brought it up in kind of what you said.
No, I know. I read that. Comment.
Oh, is that what? So
I didn't come up with that spontaneously.
I was like, oh, randomly, like. But for the people listening to the podcast, RL said that what you saw from the from what you saw in the trailer, Cat 4, you thought maybe wasn't worth it because it RL felt they wasted money on the ticket. Yeah. So I mean, I also have AMC A-list, so I don't judge movies by waste of money. It's changed.
See, I do.
It's changed the way that like I view movies, which I love because I'm a movie lover. I love not having to weigh my money over the movie. What it is it's time. Is this movie a waste of time? Did I waste my night going out to the movie theaters? Did I waste time going to the movie theaters? There have been a couple of movies I feel that are a waste of time. Most of the movies, because I get to, see it for a small nominal fee per month, a subscription of sorts, then...
We're sponsored by AMC.
I wish. I mean, I would love to get sponsored from things that I like.
I tried to get them to send me a Dune popcorn bucket, because I was dressed up as the Dune sandworm for San Diego Comic-Con, and like there was one video of it that went viral, and I was like, oh my god, AMC, please see this and just please send me a popcorn bucket, and then they never saw it, and I was like, damn. Oh. That's all I want. All I want is to go viral enough that AMC sends me a Dune popcorn bucket.
That's cool.
We didn't make it.
DC Comics reached out to one of my TikToks and asked if they can use the video. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I also this is my only thirsty comment.
Okay.
When he was cracking the safe, I think I wrote Matt can crack a safe. Of course he can. I love that the music cut out for the fight. They were doing like the Daredevil music, like leading up to him engaging in the fight. But then once the fight actually started, the music cut and it was just the sound of punching. Love that. But there was like a close up of his hands when he was cracking the safe. Chef's kiss, beautifully done, very nice. A+. That to me felt like the moment in the Batman where they had Bruce Wayne doing detective work and his shirt was like inexplicably off. Like there was no reason for his shirt to be off, and I was like, they did that for me. That's how I feel about this shot of his hands cracking the safe. I was like, that's for me. And thank you.
It's funny because just one of my memories of just like being like in junior high and like, kids talking to other kids about like, yeah, like when you're with a girl, it's like cracking the safe. And it's like, oh yeah, okay. Whatever.
Matt knows how to do that.
Matt knows.
Canonically, yeah.
So like these 2 episodes, also I wanted to point out, and it was really weird that this happened. So all the Irishmen who robbed the bank were wearing different colored masks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the first thing as a comic book fan, like I'm like, who are they? Are they somebody specific? Is there a multicolored group of bank robbers? And I couldn't think of any. Then I was like, wait a minute, this lead guy has this green mask, and he looks a lot like Sin Eater from the Spider-Man comics. if you look up Sin Eater Marvel, like if you look it up right now, not Sin Eater as a concept, because it ties in with that, but that's a different thing. It's somebody who like eats a dead body to absorb their sins and cleanse their sins for the afterlife or something like that. I don't know, whatever. But if you look up Sin Eater Marvel, he has a shotgun, he has like a jacket, and then he has this like green ski mask over his head. And it's like, that guy looked just like him, but it's not the same guy.
No, I was like, I don't think his name is Stan.
It wasn't Stanley Carter or whatever his name is.
I know there was a Declan, like they started giving
Devlin.
their names like halfway through.
Devlin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's so Irish. And then we got the detective who was the hostage negotiator.
Yeah.
Who, just for the record, I don't care about her at all. I'm not. It was interesting that like she finally came back after briefly meeting her in. Didn't we only see her in episode 1?
Was she in episode 1?
She was in the bar talking to Cherry about him retiring.
You're right. I forgot about her. Well, I was like, she looks familiar.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and I had to look her up, and I was like, oh, she's from Our Flag Means Death.
She is from Our Flag Means Death.
Yeah, that's where I know her from. I don't even remember her from the first episode. She's in the first episode for like 15 seconds.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, she has quite a few lines. Like it's like Matt and Karen, Kirsten and Foggy, and then Cherry and
Angie Kim.
Angie Kim. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, okay. I mean, I guess cool to see her back, but also, what's the point? But all right, whatever. Yeah. I mean, Cherry pops back in episode 6.
Yeah. I would say, honestly, episode 5, like, that one is like a 9 out of 10. Like, that was great. I had a great time with it.
I'm going to be honest. Episode 5 is my favorite episode of the season. And that might piss some people off. But, like, the Muse stuff was cool, but I feel like that was just a different thing. Here's where I wanted to tie it in. Did you watch Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man?
I watched some of it. I started watching it with Evie.
Did you watch the Daredevil episode?
No.
Okay. So he makes an appearance. And he's fun Daredevil. Or he's dark and mysterious, but he is still fun.
Yeah.
Like, I want that Daredevil. I guess I'm going to say that. That's the Daredevil I want.
Yeah. I want him to be fun Daredevil or depressed Daredevil, and he's not depressed enough. Like, they open with the Foggy flashback. So episode 6, Foggy flashback, he's praying. The prayer is like not pathetic enough for me. I wrote get this man in a church. I also wrote down have these two people ever met before, about him and Heather. Like, truly, I'm dying with the two of them. Like, that is, they're acting kind of like people that have been dating for like 4 years. You know how like when people have been dating for a long time and they just kind of like, hey, we don't have to prove to anyone that we're in love because we just are, right? But I feel like their relationship is not, like, I don't.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a new relationship. I don't want to be filthy, but
I do.
Would it be too much to ask for one scene with the two of them?
Honestly, I think it's been too long for them to pull off a sex scene, like, successly. Because I don't
sex? Like,
they must have, but like I don't believe it. Like, I don't. I'm not buying it. I think if they were going to establish something, you have to show them having sex before. But there is in the trailer a sex scene, and I'm like, I don't know who. These people, I don't know where we have room for that.
Who are the people?
Matt, obviously. Hold on, I don't know. I don't have screenshots.
You just have the screenshot saved.
Despite my.
Isn't the whole thing about like having sex with Matt Murdock that you can like see all the scars he has?
Yeah, people would have questions. I would assume.
But he's just like,
I wouldn't ask any, but
yeah, but like, I feel like that's a thing, right? Like, same with Bruce Wayne. Like, the two of them have to be like covered. It's like
scars. A conversation you have to have. That's like, right. You gotta bring that up.
I mean, the easy cover is that like, oh yeah, the accident when I was a kid, like messed me up bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I think with episode 6, my issue is like they were doing a lot of things and they weren't doing any of them enough. Like everything is like quiet, or was trying to get rid of the mural and then he realized it was made with buckets of human blood and the guy's just like, it was made out of blood. And I'm like, oh, like we should be terrified. Like this is 60 victims, draining them of blood. Like I'm looking for some Hannibal level stuff, and everyone's just kind of like, well, and I'm like, we need to be way more freaked out, about this. Everyone was just like not doing enough, right? Like Matt is upset because Angela came in and is like, you want me to talk to the cops, the ones that murdered my uncle? And I'm like, great point. Right. And he's feeling bad, but he's not feeling bad enough. Like he's feeling guilt over what happened with Foggy, but like while he's just casually like we know that he's haunted, right? He's holding the thing from his funeral. He's saying the prayer, but even the prayer is like the prayer of the patron saint of lawyers. Like,
okay,
it's not a real like desperation type prayer. I don't know. Yeah, Catholic corner over here, but I feel like there's a difference. I've been saying get him in a confessional. There's a difference between going to a confessional and talking to a priest about the conflict in your soul and then just like saying the prayer of Saint Saint Ives.
Look, my big thing with this whole thing is that like I have seen 3 seasons of brooding emo Matt. I don't mind that he is, he suffers as people do, and maybe he suffers more than most, sure. But I would hope that after like 10 years, like he's had a little bit of growth in that department. And I know that Foggy is dead, let's just say. But I don't know. I just want something different from this show now. Now that I kind of tasted it. I tasted it in your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I tasted it in, and like haters gonna hate, but I tasted it in She-Hulk, and I like him in She-Hulk. And I tasted it in this episode 5, right? Like I've tasted it 3 times so far. And your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is a different universe, but still like, it's tangential to the MCU. I'm hoping after this season, maybe they lighten them up a little bit. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, because I feel like part of Daredevil's journey is like realizing it doesn't need to be like the whole thing with Fisk saying like the idea of it's hard to come to terms with a violent nature. Like I would like to see Matt Murdock who has come to terms with a violent nature, right? There's that whole thing in season 2 with Elektra where he's kind of realizing like this isn't what I do. Like you like killing people, and like that's messed up, and you promised you wouldn't, and then you killed a young boy immediately, like 7 minutes afterwards.
Wait, who'd she kill? I'm
there was a little like there's like a teenage assassin that comes to kill Matt from the hand, where she's like, I'll be good, I won't kill anyone ever again, and then like she goes to sleep, and then he's getting beat up by this assassin, and then she like slits his throat.
Did they turn to dust in that season or no?
No, there's a whole cleaner crew that has to come out. But that idea of like I do want to see a Matt Murdock that has kind of made peace with his violent nature and is like, I can be Daredevil and I can be a vigilante without letting this like overpower me and have to do the scream, right? And have to like let it out. Like I can fight bad guys because I'm good at fighting bad guys and still like be a person, right? Because he gets there. There are comics where he's gotten there, right? And he's happy and a vigilante, right? Like, or happy-ish, as happy as Matt.
Happy-ish, yeah.
But I think because there's no clear trajectory. Like at the end of episode 2, all the way back in episode 2, where he beats those cops up, and I thought murdered them, but apparently they're fine. And like screams, that was like, oh, he's like at a breaking point. And then it was like, nope, oh no, he's going back and being a lawyer, and it's like, oh, He's gonna be really tortured by what happened to Hector. Oh no, actually, oh, he's kind of fine. Okay. And then we're like, okay, he's happy again. And he's doing the bank thing, and then now he's kind of tortured, and like it's there's not a he's not on a real clear arc,
Well,
which is bothersome to me.
I think it's hard to have an arc when the episodes have been chopped up and put together, right? Or shortened, right? So the thing about like think about like graphing something on a chart for like math is that like you want him to go from like here to here, and if it's too close, then the slope is really high, right? But if you like stretch it out, then the slope is gradual and it's like slower. So depending on, you know, what you want, you can either spread those points out, you know, where he is and where he needs to get to be, and depending on how many episodes you have, you can kind of play with that. But in this, it was like, boom, he needs to shatter someone's femur. Like, that's just something the guy needs to do.
Yeah.
Right off, like, just, okay. Like, he didn't, like, choke the guy to death on the stairwell. He, like, knocked him out.
Yeah, but would he have if he didn't have to grab the
gun?
That
was a cool fight, by the way.
That was very cool.
That was a really cool fight.
I love that fight.
Yeah.
And then the Muse thing, it's like, it seems to me that the only reason he let Muse go from hanging him is because he heard that Angela was dying.
Yeah.
Right? Like, would he have killed him? Like, that dude's killed 60 people.
Yeah, I think he would. I think he would have. Yeah.
Yeah. And there is a thing of like choosing to save Angela over letting you know, over your need to kill Muse.
Yeah.
That's important. I think for me, a big, like a little tiny, like great example of, I think, where the show is getting it wrong a little bit. And I do generally enjoy it. Like, I'm not like, it's trash. Like, it's a solid, you know, overall it's like a 7 out of 10 for me, because I am enjoying watching it, and I'll watch, you know, I watch Murdoch just, you know, sit and watch TV. We'll listen to TV. But the moment where he finds out that Angela's gone, right? Angela's mom calls.
Yeah.
He or aunt or whoever she is. She calls. She's like, she's gone. She's not normally like this. He goes to call 911, and then he decides to do Daredevil again.
And he says,
is that he says, "Fuck it."
Yeah.
He goes, "Fuck it." Like, no, like that line. I think if they took that out, I would have been like, okay, like, he's like,
break that down for me. Break that down for me, because I'm having trouble following exactly what you're trying. I'm with you, and I'm trying to figure that out. You're saying it was out of character for him to say "fuck it"?
I don't think it was out of character so much for him to say "fuck it." I just think, I think if the story you're telling is Matt Murdock killed Bullseye, or you know, thought he killed Bullseye, right? Yeah. And that was the line he never said he would cross. He'd do a lot of stuff, but he would never kill anyone. He said, "I'd rather, you know, die as the devil than live as Matt Murdock," right? Daredevil was him. He put it away. It's been away for a year. He's been fighting his urge to become Daredevil. He's been trying to work through the system. And then his decision to put the cowl back on, after probably like every night hearing the sirens and deciding not to, his decision is "fuck it." Like, just seems a little,
I mean, he's like, not saying "fuck it" as in like he doesn't have anything better to do. I think that girl that asked him to do something, he didn't do anything, and now she's gone missing. I think that like would be really guilty on his part, right? That is a,
yeah, but it's just the choice to give him that line there is very like, oh, all right, like that, I'll put it on, right? Like, that's how it reads to me, of like even if he would have been like, shit, like, fuck, even just a fuck would have been like fuck, I have to do this, right? Like, I gotta do, like, I'm giving in. But the do a video essay on the difference between fuck and fuck it. Like, fuck it, like that, fuck it. Like, oh, okay, fine. I'll put the cowl back on, right? As opposed to like, shit, I have to do this. Like, this is the only way I can fix it. I can't. I've been trying to do it in the system, and it's not, like, fuck, I gotta do it, right? But fuck it is just like, fuck it. Like, and it's like the tone of it for me. It's I think I am doing an annoying English teacher thing,
Maybe.
right? Where it's like someone wrote that specifically, and the presentation of fuck it, like if you were to say that without swearing, it would be like, forget it. Like, what? Dang it. Like,
yeah.
And just the presentation of that is a very like, it's very like, he's right behind me, isn't it? To me.
Yeah.
That's how it felt to me. Like, I gotta do this, instead of like, he's been tortured about whether or not to put it back on. And yeah.
I feel like there are things that they're trying to tell us in this show where key scenes have been cut out. And to show, okay, so like I think that like as a writer myself, when you write something and then you have to go and revise, like if the original writer goes in and revises it, at least they know what their original scenes were meant, and they can cut things out and like write one more line that kind of gets around the same point, and things can kind of flow. But when multiple people are writing and revising and cutting things up and putting them back together, like you lose that flow and the original intent, and like everything is supposed to be there for a reason. So technically you shouldn't have to cut anything because everything was important. I think that like they probably cut scenes where they're like, look, we need to go to point from A to C. I guess we can cut out B, because if he starts at A and he goes to C, that's what we need. But B just makes it more gradual. I feel like that's the point. So the fuck it, if I'm gonna, go, big brain into this, I guess, is that like maybe the theme is that like if he puts on the mask, he will lose himself to the devil. Like any mask, like they talk about it with Wilson Fisk's Anti-Vigilante Squad. They Heather talks about masks, right? Like the idea of putting on a mask means you lose yourself to this idea. And maybe he's like, I can put on the suit and not lose myself. I have to put on the suit to save her. I can have one drink. You know what I mean? I can have one drink at a party and not lose myself in 10 drinks. I can, right? Like, that's what it is, right?
I was going to say, is that what you're saying? Because I think maybe it's a combination of English teacher then and recovering alcoholic, that I'm like, that's what
I'm not,
it is.
Wait, am I a recovering?
I am.
Oh, okay.
And I'm an English teacher, so I think it's the combination of that, of him. He is saying that to himself. Maybe that's where I'm like, come on, man. That's not true.
We both know it's not true, right? Like, we
yeah.
both know that he's going to slip. But I think that, like, judging from the last 2 episodes, just from 5 and 6, the mask makes all the difference.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is. I can have one drink and not be a problem. You know?
I also think, no, I lost it. I forgot what I was gonna say.
It's all
right. This is just a nitpick, but in the Netflix show, when he's at home alone, he takes his glasses off a lot more. I think maybe that's a thing. His glasses were on in that moment, and I think as great of an actor that Charlie Cox is, it's real hard to act without your eyeballs, and he does a lot of good eyeball acting, blind eyeball acting. And I think he does a lot of things where he like rolls his eyes up, and you can tell he's like really like tortured thinking about something, because he does like an eyebrow roll and like a huff. I mean, that's kind of like his signature like move. So I feel like if we saw that happening on his face as he was listening to 911 operators say like, hello, are you there? If we could have seen that play out on his face, I think the intention of the line would have been a little bit clearer.
Yeah.
And I would have liked it a little bit better. Like, take his glasses off when he's home alone. Please. I think that would have made all the difference. It's one of those things where it's like, it's just a little is just a little off to me, enough that I'm complaining about it for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's just a little bee in my bonnet about that, along with the like, everyone should be more scared of Muse, everyone should be more freaked out.
Yeah.
Like Cherry is telling Matt about it, and like Matt's not that, like, Cherry's not that disgusted by the fact that there's someone that's drained 60 people of blood. Matt is a little and it's like, it looks like the way that Cherry is coming at it is like, don't be Daredevil just because there's a serial killer that's killed 60 people, but like he's not doing any of it enough, right? Like,
that
we're
scene
not
with Cherry
scared
was
enough
kind of
of
weird to
Muse.
me, because I felt like
scene with
Cherry
Cherry
was
was
like, you won't believe what just happened, blah 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 blah. But also like, don't go. It's no big deal. It's no big. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. Maybe I'm just blowing it out of proportion. You know?
Yeah. I wrote like, why are we not more freaked out? Yeah, and then the whole idea of Angela being the one to come and say like, these people are going missing. That was another moment where there was a flashback, and I was like, I didn't need the flashback. If she's about to tell us what he's been saying, why did we flash back to Hector? I think we need more Muse. I'm interested in this character. The fact that he hasn't said anything is maybe the problem. I think he's not, weirdly, not menacing enough to be completely quiet. Which he should be, because he's gouging folks' eyes out and making paintings with them.
Yeah.
There was just a lot of talk of like, oh, see, the epoxy seal on the top makes it, and I was like, he's painting with blood, guys.
Yeah.
He's draining people of blood.
Well, I also think that it's important that the murals can't come down. It is a stain on Fisk's city. Boom.
Yeah, and their paintings are depicting Fisk, not, like, this is that's the reason that anyone cares about this mural, is because it was a criticism of Fisk, right?
Yes.
Like, the regular murals are fine, right? He's been doing it, but because this one that's criticizing Fisk can't get down, that's where it's a problem. But I think it's one of those things where like, well, we need to get to the anti-vigilante task force. A question I wrote, and I'm not a law enforcement expert, but like, can he do that?
What?
Can the mayor of a city lead a task force of incredibly corrupt cops?
No, not really.
I don't think the police commissioner can just be like, okay, you're in charge of it. Like, that's.
But that's the whole point of the corruption part, right?
Yeah. Is that they kind of let him, but I was just very like.
Are they all going to put on Punisher suits?
Yes.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And I think Punisher's going to come back to mow them down.
I hope so. Well, I mean, we've seen the vest in a trailer, so we know he's going to.
Yeah.
And then Cold North, comic book character.
He is a comic book character.
Which is like, okay, anytime they say someone's first and last name, I'm like, I'm gonna Google that.
He's probably the newest comic book character that's graced Daredevil. He is from Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil run. And Cold North is a big he is anti-corrupt cop, right? Like, you know,
is this like a character assassination on Cold North?
If they're making him okay with corrupt cops, then yes. The Cold North that I know would not be a Punisher fanboy.
Because he's not a big Daredevil fan, but he's not
No.
Interesting. Maybe he's like undercover.
Maybe. He didn't say what he did. He said like he roughed up the guy that was selling oxy to an 11-year-old. Okay, fair. That
I'm on board for that. Yeah.
But are you telling me you killed him? Did you kill him? Did you not?
Yeah.
Those other guys are probably there for more egregious stuff.
Yeah, like shooting Hector in the head.
Somebody did.
Yeah. Also, why is Angela going into this tunnel at night, in the middle of the night?
Because no one else will help
her. I know, but like, go at noon.
I know.
You're already skipping school.
I mean, I know it's dumb, but also like, she's trying to help in the way that
No. I'm all for her helping. I don't know why she's doing it in the middle of the night.
because
Is my
she's a kid.
or
She's
like
young.
bring a. I know. I wrote in my notes like she's kind of annoying, but she's supposed to be a teenager. Like she's the annoying that is appropriate for a 16-year-old. When he's like, "What do you want me to do?" and she's like, "Literally anything," and I was like, that's a 16-year-old.
Yeah,
and he's great, and I'm glad she's not dead, although she almost was.
Yeah.
But is she too young to be White Tiger? Because I know the canonical is White Tiger, where she takes up the mantle.
Well, also in the comics, her name is Ava Ayala. In this, it's Angela Ayala, but it's supposed to be the same person. But I always think it's interesting, like when movies and TV shows of comic stuff, they change names, and it's like, why'd you change the name? So like in the
swordsman thing, why instead of what is it, Jack
DeCane?
Yeah, Jack DeCane, it was Jacques Duchamp.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that they can now say, no, that wasn't him that Elektra killed.
Right. Well, also in the original 70s Hulk show, he's not Bruce Banner, he's David Banner.
Really?
Yeah, in the original Lou Ferrigno Hulk TV show, it's David Banner. And later in the comics, or at least in the comics, basically Bruce Banner is his middle name in the comics, technically. Like, he would be D. Bruce Banner. Like, David Bruce Banner is his full name. But he goes by Bruce. But in the Lou Ferrigno show, they went by David. And the reason is they supposedly, at least this is urban myth or whatever, they said that Bruce is too gay of a name.
I mean,
keep in mind it was probably only a couple
that.
of years or whatever after 1966's Batman, right?
Oh, that's funny.
So maybe
it's crazy.
Maybe they're trying to, because you just had Bruce Wayne on TV, and then Incredible Hulk is 1978, so about 10 years after.
Yeah, maybe they don't want too many Bruces, but that's all like that's a crazy.
What'd you say?
That's that reason is hilarious.
Yeah.
And wild, but I could see not wanting, because Bruce is like that's a unique name. So to be like, what are the odds two of them named Bruce?
Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes they change the name. I don't know why it's not Ava Ayala, but whatever.
But
she's not too young. I think she could.
I mean, you got Spider-Man.
You have Kamala Khan.
Yeah.
Like,
God, I want to see Kamala Khan so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you.
That was seeing the the gem limited edition Funko Pop was really funny.
Yeah.
I was like, are we doing a product placement?
But also Yusuf, there's two things about Yusuf. He's not accommodating to Matt being blind. In both a good and a bad way, he's not accommodating. But he's also not weirded out by the superhero stuff. Like, he thinks it's weird, but he doesn't inquire any further.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
I feel like there's a lot of people that don't inquire any further, right? Last episode, he told that guy that girl that he could tell she ate honey buns for breakfast, and everyone was just kind of like, "Oh, you scamp," and I was like, "That." I don't think that's a thing that blind people. That's not a thing that visually impaired people can like do. So we should be more concerned.
Yeah.
I there was a moment in my notes where I wrote, "Boo, this is boring," and it was when Luca, the tracksuit mafia guy, came to Fisk's office. I was like, what are we doing?
1.8. What about 2.8?
And that, like, I hate it. I hate that I don't care about Fisk and Vanessa. Because I know that I do care about them, but I don't care about this version of them. I mean, I guess I care that he beat Adam to death.
Is he dead?
I think he's alive. I mean, his face wasn't all mangled, so he might still be alive.
Like,
But I'm
yeah,
like,
he didn't put his head in the car door, so I guess,
yeah,
anything's
I
possible.
feel like at that point I was just like, oh, we get it. Matt's finally letting it out, and Fisk is letting it out. It was very like, okay, I don't
Ham-fisted in a way.
yeah, I don't need to be cutting between both of them doing the same thing.
Also, who the hell is Adam? Why should I care? Come on.
He's not, yeah, not even that, yeah, not even that hot.
Well, he's okay.
But also Muse, what I was gonna ask is that Muse in the comics, right, has a superpower where he like absorbs all the sensory energy so Matt can't like track him.
Something like that. Yeah.
And it seems like we're not doing that because it seems like unless he can turn it on and off, he seemed to be able to fight him just like he fights everyone else.
I mean, yeah, it just seemed like he was just a normal serial killer. I mean, maybe they give him a power later.
Yeah, I think what I need from Muse is like a crazy ass monologue. I think I need like some panting or some like, I mean, he's a little shaky, there's that, but like I need a little more from him in the like batshit crazy department. Like I need this guy to be like, I need him to be monologuing about like how this is the only way to clean the city with the blood of the impure, like some like the this is the price people have to pay for truly great art and blah. Like I need and that I think that's kind of my thesis is like I need, like, I mean, I'm with Angela, right? Like I need you to do something, right? Yeah. Like you either need to show me the mutilated bodies on the hooks or don't do like a half in the dark shot of some people. Like you gotta, Hannibal was on, prime time 10 p.m. right after the,
NBC.
So You Think You Can Dance or whatever. Yeah. There were things on that show that I was like, I can't believe they put like this on TV. Right? Like they said fuck so many times in that episode 5.
Wait, what?
Like so many times. They were dropping F-bombs like
really?
Left and right. It was like 15 of them.
In episode 5?
Yeah. Or at least like 10. Especially the Robert.
I didn't even notice.
Saying it a lot. And it's like, if we can do that, if we're like firmly in TVMA like that, you gotta show me the mutilation of, and I guess they're kind of like, oh, he's doing it with a big needle, so the bodies don't have to get that gross. And it's like, you have to do something to show me that this guy's bonkers. So it's like, there's not like, everybody's kind of like operating at like 60%. Yeah. Right? Matt's a little tortured saying a prayer, but he needs to be crying in a church pew.
Yeah.
His girlfriend gives him a kiss on the cheek. I need him to be fucking like, the sanitation guy's like, it's blood, and I need him to be like, there's blood. Like I need to see him realizing that it's blood, right? Yeah. Like, and being freaked, like, oh my god, what is this? Like, but he's just like, they're doing it with blood, mister. And I was like, so everybody is like, it's like everybody's holding back.
You know what would have been more powerful? Is if Fisk,
anything else?
If Fisk was actually at the scene of the mural and he's like, I want it down. Like,
yeah.
Was that kind of a good Fisk?
That was a good Fisk, yeah.
Thank you.
Tell Vanessa.
When I was a boy.
Right? Yeah, if he's there and it's like,
he's like, get it down.
He puts his hand and it's, yeah.
And they're like, we can't. Oh, why can't you? And then it's like,
and then he smashes the epoxy with his hands, and then underneath it, it's blood.
There's a dead
blood, but then it's blood, right?
And it like bleeds from it.
Yeah,
like he dents the concrete, so it kind of like goes in, and then it leaks out one little thing.
It has. I think there's a show not tell problem. I think we're hearing a lot of things.
Yeah,
like if we would have seen them figuring out it was blood, that would have been crazy. If we saw 60 bodies, but instead we're just saying like 60 people, and I'm like,
also the 2 girls, they both got taken by one guy. Like one girl dies, the other girl probably would book it, right? Like,
yeah.
And if she didn't, if there was some sort of like, no, don't take my friend, and then they both died, like, let's see that. Like, then they both chose to kind of like, they didn't choose to die. Yeah. You get what I mean? Like, for some reason, he got 2 birds with 1 stone. How did that
We
happen?
definitely need to see him killing people.
Like,
I
did he
think
do it with
because
a
I don't
knife
think
at first?
he's
Like, how does he? Because
yeah
we've only seen him carry one body at a time.
yeah.
So we're
But
like,
then those he's like displaying those outside, and it's like, okay, you tried to take one of his murals down, and now he's like, fuck
is
you
that
guys,
what it
I'm
is?
gonna. I think they actually say that.
Like a
Like,
retaliation sort of thing?
right, he's like making fun, oh, the police are saying that they're on to me, I'm gonna put these bodies here. But again, that's not, if we are seeing him see, right, it's odd.
Yeah.
It's not, the dots are not all connecting. um but it's like, I do want to reserve my harshest judgments, but I do think the whiplash between an episode I really liked and then an episode that has a lot going on and none of it is really satisfying,
Yeah.
right? It was like getting a steak dinner and then getting like the appetizers, right? And it's like,
Mm.
oh no, but can I have more of that? That was really good.
Right.
Instead of the sampler platter, it was very sampler platter, right? Like, I've got one tater tot,
Mm.
I've got one mozzarella stick, I've got one, chips worth of guacamole, right? We're just like dipping into all these stories that I don't care about that much.
Yeah.
For the love of God, if I could go the rest of my life without seeing a BB report again. Like, that's just do you feel safe on the streets? Like, oh my God, I
Yeah.
don't like, and it's like Fisk is saying keep it quiet, don't tell anyone. But then we're watching the BB report and people already know about it. So, oh, I heard people are getting drained for their blood. And it's like, why aren't we putting out a press release if everyone already knows about it?
Also, I would have liked for them to throw in like people getting drained by blood. I heard he's a vampire.
Yeah.
Like which sounds like a funny joke, but it also would be something that somebody would say in that universe. Not that vampires exist or don't exist, we don't know, but somebody would say, I heard it's vampires. I heard it's Skrulls. I heard it's vampire
It's
Skrulls.
gross.
Like, you know? Why wouldn't they? But you're right, the BB reports aren't doing really anything. Um Vanessa's not doing anything. I don't know who the hell Adam is, and why should I care that they're fighting? Did they cut a whole chunk of a scene? Like, I feel like whoever wrote this episode thought there was something before this that showed how much
Well,
Adam
we see
means.
Fisk's fists. Oh, that's hard to say.
Fisk's
His fists, yeah, his fists have been bloodied. So is he going down there and like they're fighting? And now this is like the 10th time they fought. So he's like, I'm gonna give you an axe this time, bud. Like,
Mm.
because he has the whole speech about like sometimes a simple tool can make all the difference. And I'm like, okay, if he's going down there every night and like punching him a few times and now he's going to give him an axe and open the thing, like, that's interesting to me. But yeah, we just saw that he was down there and now he's like, I'm gonna give you an axe. And then
Because also,
his
if I was Adam and he was like, come at me with the axe, I would think like something is up, right? I would just be like trying to get out of there instead of like striking back. Like, it just seems like the striking back with violence and anger and whatever seems to be the priority of Adam as opposed to like getting out of there.
yeah, and it's not like he's working out there in his cage, like he certainly is malnourished.
Right.
But then also Fisk rips his jacket. Is he like bulking up?
So
Is he
there
getting
is a
buff? Is that what
rumor.
it is?
There's a rumor that Fisk is becoming big old boy Fisk from the comics, which is probably prosthetics.
Like into the Spider-Verse wide?
Yes, very,
Wide
very.
Fisk?
Yeah, there is rumors that is. I thought it was a joke when somebody brought it up, but seems like it's pointing towards it. You know, that we're getting big boy Fisk. So,
all right.
I'm okay. Is it necessary? What purpose does that serve? I'm fine with Vincent D'Onofrio as he is.
Yeah, I'm okay with regular size Fisk.
Yeah.
But even in like season 2 of the Netflix show, he was wide.
Yeah.
He was a commanding presence. So I don't know.
I don't know where they're going with any of this stuff, but you know,
I don't.
we got 3 more episodes.
I don't,
the
and
end of the season.
That's wild to me.
Yeah,
there's just like
it better not end
so
halfway.
much going on. There's so much going on.
I mean, what really needs to happen? Let's just say we don't see Muse for the rest of the season. Let's just say, what is the plot that needs to wrap up? This anti-vigilante task force, which, you know, Punisher will probably come back.
Mm-hmm.
Matt's already put on the suit, so
if Matt is going to keep putting on the suit, then Fisk needs to hear that Matt is putting on the suit, because they made that little promise to each other: you don't do corrupt things and I won't be Daredevil. But now they're both broke their promise, right?
Right.
So, but I think also part of the problem is that there hasn't been any interaction between Fisk and Matt since that first conversation that they had. So is Fisk keeping up with what Matt is doing? Are we like, I think a Fisk and Matt fight is not going to be super satisfying because they haven't been adversarial. We've just been following Matt and following Fisk, right? So that can't come to a head because they haven't been building up any tension there. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to get a lot, like there has to be a lot more Muse for me to care about a final fight between Daredevil and Muse.
No, it's not. That's not the end game, right? Like I don't think it is. So I don't know.
And that thing is when there's so many plot lines like this, you forget about them if we don't go back to them.
Yeah.
And then they're not going to matter. Like, so when Frank comes back, so Frank has previously said that's none of my business, right? Then what does that have to do with me about the Punisher cops?
Yeah.
Maybe now that there's an entire task force of Punisher cops being essentially given permission by the mayor of New York to do whatever they want and use excessive force and not turn on a body cam, that's going to be enough to rouse him. And I think that'll be one of those situations where when it happens, I'll probably be like, wow, there wasn't much build up to that. But I'm happy to see Frank Castle shooting people again, right? Like, I'm just going to be happy to see some carnage at that point. So I'll probably be okay with it.
Don't say carnage when it comes to MCU. Like, you might get carnage. I don't know. They brought up Spider-Man. I doubt he'll show up, but I also thought to myself, Matt doesn't know that Peter Parker is...
Well, nobody does.
Spider-Man.
Even if he did before, he doesn't now.
Right. Well, he did before, because that was the whole law thing, right? But, like, he probably doesn't now.
Yeah, he doesn't now.
Again, that's another plot hole with the end of Far From Home that, like, or No Way Home, that is like, well, what does it mean? It's not just that people forgot, because there's video evidence of everything, right? Like, you just look on the internet and like, oh, I posted about this on Facebook yesterday that I don't think Peter Parker is
Doctor Strange did the impossible. He erased something from the internet.
Right. But that's, I think, what he did. Like, he had to have disappeared from every photo. His birth certificate, everything would have disappeared. Like, has to. And it's magic. It's okay.
Peter Parker didn't disappear, but Peter Parker being Spider-Man disappeared. So
no.
Oh no, that's not true.
No, because MJ didn't know Peter Parker. Peter Parker disappeared, quote unquote.
Well, yeah, why didn't he just make everyone forget that Peter Parker's Spider-Man?
Because that was the problem with the first spell. It didn't work.
Oh, I haven't watched it.
The first spell is, people forget that Peter Parker.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The second spell is, I mean, shit hits the fan, so the second spell is, look, I just gotta erase Peter Parker. That's the only way. Like, you know, no one's gonna remember Peter Parker. We just gotta do a blanket spell. Anyway, I would love to see Spider-Man appear and get stopped by the vigilante squad and then, like, swing away and they can't do anything about it. You know? Okay, cool.
I want to see the vigilante squad kill Spider-Man.
No. So I don't know. What's the end game? Is Ava gonna get the amulet and actually, like, fight? Is that gonna be a plot point?
I feel like she's been around too much for that not to happen. Like, she's she's recurring enough that I feel like she should.
Yeah.
Even like I know that I need to investigate it, but when I did it as myself, I immediately was captured. So I should put on
She would
the
want to be
magical
helpless
amulet.
again. You know, I
Yeah,
get it. I get it.
that's a good origin for her. Yeah.
Yeah. I also think that Vanessa, not Fisk wouldn't know this because Fisk has other things to worry about. Vanessa has to know about Heather.
Mm.
Like Vanessa has to know about Heather, and Vanessa would confront Heather, like when shit goes down. So, but I don't think that another person's gonna die for Matt. Like, I don't know. I'm very
If
confused on
they
what.
if they put Vanessa and Heather in a scene with just the two of them confronting each other, it's gonna be like the showdown of which character I care less about. Like that will be crazy. If they somehow make me care about a scene between just Vanessa and Heather, I'll be shocked.
Look, I don't want to be filthy, but
There's one way you could have a scene between Fisk and Heather be interesting to you.
Vanessa and Heather, yeah,
Oh, sorry, Vanessa and Heather.
yeah.
There's one thing they can do.
I'm just saying, you
Something's gonna
know.
happen.
Um, look, we want what we want. So as we wrap up this episode, I think the theme of this after show specifically, because we're talking about 5 and 6, is Whiplash. You know. Also, J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. Whiplash. That's the movie. Okay, so the movie.
Oh, I was like, was J. Jonah Jameson in this episode?
No. But J. Jonah Jameson should
Did
be
I
in
miss
New
an Easter egg?
York. He should be in New
Yeah.
York, and he's played by J.K. Simmons, who's in the movie Whiplash.
I love J.K. Simmons. He did great as Buff Santa in
Red One.
in Red One.
Have you not seen Whiplash? You know what I'm talking about?
I have seen Whiplash. Yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay, cool. So the joke still stands.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts? We got 3 episodes. I think it is not too late for like the point of this show and this season to be solidified. If it was like, 1 episode left, and then it's like, yeah, what's the point?
Yeah.
We still don't know the thesis. What is the thesis? I don't think it's too late to have a thesis.
Yeah.
Even if we don't know it at the end.
I mean, they put that they have that line in the trailer, that mid-season trailer they did about like coming to terms with a violent nature. Like if that is the thesis of the show, then I will be okay with it, right? If we find a way to get Matt to think I can do it, right, without kind of losing my humanity. But I mean, he hasn't shown that this past 2 episodes. But if he can get to a place where he kind of makes peace with it, that would be interesting. I do think they can land the plane. I mean, there are 3 episodes and they're each like, almost an hour. So I do think that they can do it. But as an English teacher, I have to say, you don't want to find your thesis 3/4 of the way down the page of your essay.
Yeah.
You should start with it so that you have a clear, it's very much giving like you started writing the essay without outlining it first and you're just like going on vibes.
Yeah.
Which is not a good plan. You're going to get lost in the weeds. And I feel like it is right now a little bit lost in the weeds. I think they're writing an essay without an outline.
I hope it comes down to masks. That's what I'm gathering. Masks make all the difference. Muse has a mask, and we see him. He talks when he's not Muse, and he doesn't talk when he is Muse. The mask makes the difference. Matt Murdock, even with that red sock on his head, it makes a difference, right? I would love Punisher. Sometimes Punisher has a mask, not to conceal his identity, but sometimes he has this like black mask with a skull on it. Like throw that in there. Like double down on like masks. Are they good or bad?
Yeah.
And then the answer is depends on what you're hiding.
Because then Fisk, it's like the mayor stuff.
Right. There's like metaphorical masks, real masks.
Yeah.
Put that anti-vigilante squad, at some point they're gonna put on a mask. You know? Right? Like,
yeah, I hope they can do it. I'm like hopeful. I'm like cautiously hopeful.
They've dropped a couple mask related stuff throughout this season. Hector's mask in the courtroom. Like,
Yeah.
if you have the thesis revolve around, the theme of masks, and literally Heather says it outright, like in this episode.
Yeah. And then first episode with Bullseye, where it's like he dropped the mask and broke it, but also Bullseye's coming back.
Is he?
We're gonna get him back. There was a mid-season trailer, wasn't there? Didn't they drop that today?
Oh, I didn't see. Okay.
Oh, well, spoilers?
I would love for Bullseye to come back. I want an all-out battle on the final episode. Just give me an all-out battle. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a lovely shot.
Does he have a Bullseye mask?
No, you see his face.
Oh, okay. It's not like Colin Farrell's like when he does. Have you seen the Ben Affleck movie?
No.
You've never seen a Ben Affleck Daredevil movie?
No.
All right, we'll talk later.
Like, truly no desire. No, it's a shot of Bullseye, and he's like has one of his teeth in his mouth like that, which is from the comics. He's like gonna shoot his tooth at someone. I don't know.
Oh, okay. He does that. Bullseye does what he does. As we close up this episode, I want to thank you for coming on and taking time out of your night as usual. Normally you're the co-host, and then we have another guest, but tonight it was you and me talking about 2 episodes, and we went even longer than we would a normal episode, which I thought was very interesting. We talked about it a lot. Thank you out there to anyone watching us live. If you're watching us live, you're watching us on youtube.com/The Keeg Show or twitch.tv/The Keeg Show. Shout out to RL, who was in our chat, whether it was RL Stein, writer of Goosebumps. Wouldn't that be a twist? I met RL Stein once.
Was he delightful?
He was really good friends with Mark Brown, the writer of Arthur. And so they were sitting next to each other at a booth at the LA Times Festival of Books.
Why didn't they ever do a crossover with those two then?
Well, I said, what did I tell him? I was like, oh, it's so funny that you guys are like you guys write completely different stuff and whatever. I pointed out, I forget what they said. Anyway, the point being is, R.L. Stein, thank you so much for being in our chat. That's if you're watching us live, or maybe you're listening to the podcast wherever you get your podcast from, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify or iHeartRadio or Audible or Amazon Music or SoundCloud. We're on all those. And we're on social media, TikTok and Instagram at The Keeg Show, Threads, Blue Sky, Facebook. We're on all of that at The Keeg Show /The Keeg Show, pretty much everywhere you can find us. Before we get going, Sarah, where can we find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Ms_Marauder. Con crunching right now for WonderCon coming up. So we will have some videos and pictures and stuff from WonderCon. We're bringing the Dune Sandworm to WonderCon. So keep an eye out for an 8.5 foot tall worm walking around.
Okay.
And then we're also doing Skeleton Crew. So.
Okay. Awesome. I'm going to be at WonderCon for probably like a day and a half. I'll be there half of Saturday and then all of Sunday, I think. And then I'll be that's WonderCon in Anaheim for anyone out there who's wondering. But then also C2E2, which is the Chicago comic convention. I'm going to be doing a game show there, hosting and producing a game show live from the floor, April 11th, 3:30 to 5:30. So it's a whole 2-hour thing. We're doing 2 episodes of Geek King Out. So have that to look forward to. And that's in like 2 weeks or so. So, a lot going on. In the meantime, we still have 3 episodes left of Daredevil Born Again. So obviously we're going to have the after show after each episode on Tuesday nights for the next 3 weeks. And then after that, we're going to do the Andor after show, I'm assuming. But I have to figure out what time would that even be.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what time these Andor episodes are going to drop, because they're going to drop 3 episodes at a time.
Yeah, it's a movie every week.
It's going to be crazy. I'm going to be loving it, but also
I'm sad. I wish that it could be 12 weeks of Andor. It only being 4 weeks is tough.
But Yeah, I mean, it's just gonna suck from a content creation point of view. But like,
Yeah, but knowing how good Andor is and how much I love Rogue One, it's like I get a new Rogue One every week. It's amazing.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, it's gonna be fun. So, um, for anyone who wants to follow me specifically, you can follow me at This Is Dimithri on social media. But you know, for the Keeg, whether it's the Daredevil Born Again After Show or Comic Talk that we do every Thursday, or do the Keeg chats where I talk to different industry professionals on one-on-one interviews and that sort of thing. You know, we got a lot of shows going on at the Keeg. So find our podcast, find our social media, do what you need to do. Also, if you're into Daredevil and you want to read Daredevil, there are 2 Daredevil comics that are out right now. The mainline Daredevil comic, and then there's also Daredevil Unleash Hell, which is a red band adult explicit one that is out right now. Go to comicshoplocator.com, find a comic shop near you, and check out the Daredevil comic that they got over there. You know, get into it.
I think who's writing that?
What's that?
Oh.
Saladin Ahmed writes Daredevil, and then Daredevil Unleash Hell. That one stars Elektra and like a demon possessed muse, or a muse possessed woman, because Muse is like a demon. He's dead, so he possessed a woman to enact his stuff. Anyway,
I can't believe I'm looking at the cover and I can't believe I don't know anyone that hasn't cosplayed this version of Muse yet.
The woman one?
Yeah.
Because she just came
I guess
out.
because it just came out.
It's only like 2 issues deep, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This cover looks crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised there's not more female Elektra Daredevil cosplays.
My friend does one, and she's a delight. And her husband does Muse.
Oh, nice.
Who he will be at WonderCon. He is an incredible cosplayer, and his Muse is crazy.
Okay. All right.
Crazy good.
Anyway, thank you everybody out there for watching. Thank you, Sara, for being on this show. Well, once again, I'm your host, Dimithri Perera, and
Sara Zitney.
As co-host / guest for today, you were watching the Daredevil Born Again After Show for episodes 5 and 6. Take care, everybody. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.